Continuing that forward momentum, I'm going to start fitting the rear bumper on the car because I think the front one's going to be easier. That's why I start the rear, get that one knocked out. Could be a little bit of trickery and nonsense with that, just with this thing being hit in the rear and all that goes with it. I was looking at some before photos of the rear of the spare tire well. Man, you know, it looks a lot better now. I'm actually surprised at how well that came out. It's not perfect. It's kind of like when you take aluminum foil and you ball it up and you try to straighten it out. It is hard to get that perfect in it. It really doesn't work out, but you can get it close. And I think I've gotten this as close as I can get it to being right. You know, all the bolts in the rear for the rear splash shield, they seem to be pointing the right direction, and everything seems to be the right orientation. Everything seems to be as straight as I can get it. Now there's a few little ripples in there that you just can't work out, but again, this is not structural, so I'm not too worried about it. But it came out really well. So here is the trunk. I mean, if you remember what was going on here before, that spare tire well, like the floor was kind of like cockeyed. I mean, this whole rear was crunched in. The whole thing was like pushed into in here. It's a lot. So you see, there's a few wrinkles in there. Unfortunately, like some of this stuff you just can't get out perfect. But this looks way better. The spare tire fits in there. Like it just looks right. You look at it from the back. Before, when you were looking at the back, like you could see the bottom because the whole thing was just cockeyed up like that. Like this, everything looks good. You can see there's a little bit of stuff going on there. But once you get the rear bumper on, you won't be able to tell. Here is my rear bumper. Going to see how that fits. And yeah, just make sure, I mean, it's all about making sure things line up, gaps are right and correct. So this is intriguing. I'm pretty sure this trunk did not have kind of this unevenness. I thought the trunk fit better than this before. I don't know. I mean, it actually could be something I did. I don't see how this sheet metal I could have affected. Maybe there's something about how the trunk latches. And it could be, I don't even remember. I don't remember if I shut this trunk, but I don't remember ever seeing like this. Look at that. There's just, it doesn't, this should be higher. I don't remember seeing that before. Like something is going on there. It seems like this side should be higher. I don't know. It could be the latch. I mean, certainly when my old trunk was hit right in here, it might have tweaked the latch. This side looks pretty good. That gap seems a bit tight for a Hyundai, but as far as even and levelness, it is good. And so that makes me wonder, is it something I did? Possible. I don't know how I could have affected anything, but you know, you never know. And it could just be that straightening all this out may have affected something else. You know, may have affected this side of it. So I don't know. Now I got to puzzle and open the trunk, shut the trunk, open it and shut it, and keep going back and forth. I'm going to look at the latch because you can kind of tell sometimes with screws and bolts, like when something's been impacted. You can see, you know, like you'll be able to see a circle, and you can see that like the washer is back, and you see kind of a little clean spot around it. It may be a case of that. Maybe the latch is just off somehow or twisted somehow. I'm looking at that and see what I can adjust. I don't really know much of what I can adjust other than the latch. I mean, could I pull something out here that affects this? Maybe. But I don't know exactly how I do that or what I would do. But I mean, the body itself is in perfect condition. Like that's not it. So I mean, could it be? Really, it almost has to be latch. I don't know what else it could be because that's really this trunk connects right at the latch. There's nothing else going on. There's no stops or anything like a hood would have. A lot of work's been done in this area. I don't think pulling this out. I'm not sure I pulled this out. I try to keep everything straight. If I had pulled that out, I don't see how that would affect anything. Maybe it did. I don't know. So I'm going to look at that and, you know, kind of look at everything and see if I can determine something. And, you know, maybe I need to do some more pulling. Like right now, I'm kind of looking at these edges. Like I can see that kind of seems like it comes down straight. I know this side had a little bit of wrinkle to it. And it might be that this side is pushed in a little bit. Maybe it needs to come out. You can see there's a little bit going on here. Maybe that's it. I'm looking at it. It certainly seems like maybe this just needs to twist out. Maybe twisting this out, this would push that trunk out. Maybe it'd push it up a little bit. Something to look at. I mean, certainly it could be this side's down. I mean, the trunk, it's latched, but I'm sure it's resting on this seal. So I'm going to look at that because you can see this. Yeah, it could be. Maybe this whole thing needs to come up a little bit. Looking at, well, this metal seems to be the same, both sides. Nothing looks crazy out. And maybe it needs to come up a little bit. I don't know. I hate to get into messing with too much stuff because then you mess stuff up. But something's not fitting. And this, I don't know. I wonder if this is in a little bit. Now I just need to pull it out. I have a slide hammer. That might be a great case for this. I could always hook it back up to my backyard tree frame machine. But yeah, I think maybe this needs to come out. Just looking at the angle of that screw. Because I know this side's probably good because it's hit on that side. This just looks a little bit straighter. This definitely seems to be going in that way. That could do it. That could certainly do it. So we may have our culprit. Do I go ahead and work on the bumper anyway? Maybe, because I don't want to go outside. Don't want to go outside and hook my frame machine back up because I'm inside, man. It's a little, getting to be summer, getting warm out. I'm looking to see if this looks, I'm looking over here. I mean, this one seems like it could be down. Like the metal doesn't look down. I don't know. I mean, that's a hard thing too, because you need to take a step back and look at optics and how things, kind of your perspective. So I'm pulling on this and this and it. I'm just messing stuff up. And you look at that sheet metal, like there doesn't seem to be any extra bends from one side to the other. Like looking at this to this, nothing. But this seems like it could be bowed in a little bit. And the best thing to do that is to start taking some reference measurements, like pick, you know, like center point of the car and like measure to here, you know, just reference back and forth. I haven't taken any measurements so far. Probably should have. Probably my fault. Probably my bad. But I just wonder if something's going on here. I don't think it'd be this top edge because everything was down here. Everything's kind of localized in this. Everything's localized down here in this area. But I'm thinking it might be that, and I would pull this out, help the trunk shut better. It could, because it could be the trunk. Like it's just shutting too far. If it's going too far this way, that would cause everything to kind of drop down like that. I think that might be it. And it's one of those things, until you start looking at the trunk, you don't know. I was trying to straighten out the spare tire well. I'm thinking that's it. It certainly seems like it. I'm usually, not to brag, I'm usually pretty good at freaking things like this out. But I think I'm going to go ahead and throw the bumper on there. Yeah, maybe I should work on that. But you know what? Let's throw the bumper on there. Let's see if we come up with any other busts, any other things that don't quite look right. Because that might be additional work. And you know, if I go to the trouble to fix that one thing, then come back, and it's another thing I need to fix too. So let's throw the bumper on there, because it'd be nice to see this car looking like a car again, look like a complete car again. I would like that. I remember where all these screws go. Let's see what we got going on. So I'm looking at my screws, trying to figure out, how did this thing work? What did I do? How did I do it? And so this is I'm looking at these screws here. I got some notes, not great notes, you know, inside what? I think there's like a screw over here. Maybe that's the inside. I don't know. Well, you can see there's screws there, screw there. I think these are like these little plastic clips, rivets. I think those are, let's see, these. I mean, maybe there's something here. I don't know. When I get the bumper out, I know. I'm just doing some investigativeness here. Definitely a screw right there. It looks like it is. That might be a plastic clip. I don't know why there'd be two here. I think I took pictures of all this stuff. I sure hope so, because I'm going to need it. But I do know there was a bolt somewhere inside. And there's certainly some holes here. Yeah, again, that stuff we'll figure out. Then I've got all those plastic clips, which makes sense to me. All those plastic clips don't make as much sense. I think maybe some of those are on the bottom. I mean, those screws could be that. That didn't really seem like a bolt connection. It seems like a screw connection. I don't know what was on the bottom side. I don't know. I mean, let's see what's going on here. Yeah, I don't know. It's good questions. You know, these are things I have to figure out. I think I took pictures. I usually am very good about taking pictures because I know that I won't remember anything, and that's why we're here. But like rear bumper cover. Well, it's not the rear bumper. It's got to be the rear bumper cover. So I wonder, was that what I could see? Let's see. I got 1, 2, 3. I got 4 here. I got 3 plastic clips there, but I got another plastic clip. I don't know. Let's pull the bumper out. Let's see. Ah, man, I hope I took some pictures of this stuff. Look at that. There's a bumper on the rear of this car. Not the right color. That's okay, but what did we learn from putting this bumper on there? So I've only got 2 screws in here. I think I know where all my screws go, but you can see, like, you know, there's a spot there, clip here. And these are clips or bolts. I don't know. I think these are plastic clips. That is a screw, plastic clip, plastic clip. Hey, why is that not lining up? Hey, why is that not lining up? Hey, why is that not lining up? Remember what I said before? I think this is bent in. Yep, I think I'm confirmed on that. I think this whole thing needs to come out. I'm going to take some measurements of how far I think it needs to come out, because this bumper is fitting everywhere I need it to, except right in here where I thought this thing was bent in. I think I'm right. I'm redeemed. I just can't lose, man. I'm always right on these things. But I need to pull it out. I think, like you look kind of where's the gap the worst? Right in here. I don't think the spot I can pull and get the best hold onto is maybe right in here. There's nothing to grab onto here. Well, oh wait, is there something here? Maybe by risk crushing this, so I got to be careful with that. But this needs to come out, and I don't know, can I hook farther? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at that. Don't want to crush any of this, but this thing needs to come out, and that's what I was thinking. If you push this out, I think it's gonna fix everything. But the bumper's here, man. It's looking like a car again. It's nice to see a bumper. Man, these inserts. Why can't this be one big bumper? Now I gotta go look at my right bumper and see, does it have those inserts? I'm gonna have to buy inserts? I don't even think you can buy inserts. I don't know. I know I was looking. I don't remember seeing bumper inserts. I wasn't looking for it, but here we are. But overall, it's looking good. And I was thinking, here's the thing I was thinking about the trunk. I was like, this side like looks different. And you look at it now, you can kind of tell like it looks like that's in more, and it is. So that's okay. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna make it. It's gonna be great. But it's nice to see that everything lines up here. Like, I mean, all these holes are like so close. I mean, again, like this flexible bumper, you know, it's gonna be a little bit of flex to it. But all these holes line up near perfect, except for right in where I thought it was messed up. So that is good. But man, it's looking like a car. Like, look at that. It looks like a car. I love it. I love it. I mean, I don't think there's any reason to go any further with the bumper other than look, see if I have inserts. Because I know what I need to do need to take some measurements. And I'm sure if I take, because the thing to do when you're doing body work like this, take diagonals. Like, pick like the corner of this to pick something over there, some bolt hole, something. And then measure it from the corner of this to that same bolt hole over there. What is that diagonal? And I'm guaranteed this diagonal is going to be shorter than this diagonal. And that lets you know, hey, something is off. Well, sure enough, there are the inserts on my bumper. I got a little scuff on that. That's okay. I got to paint it anyway. It's not ripped or torn or anything. Is that? It's just kind of on the surface of that. Oh, that's coming off. That's good. Let's look at the other one. Let's make sure we got them both. It's good. I really didn't want to buy anything. What we got over here. Oh, yeah. So we've got them. We'll remember that. They'll need to be painted when I paint the bumper. Front inserts. I knew the front had the inserts because I looked at it. The rear, I did not know. I don't know, man. Why not just make the bumper one piece? You know, why not mold? I don't know. And it's better to paint it separate because otherwise you get like paint lines, all this not nasty stuff. And you want it looking awesome like I want it looking. Well, you got to paint these separate. That's okay. It looks like they just pop out. There's some clips in there. I mean, kind of all looks like the same kind of plastic. I mean, it's a plastic bumper. This bumper seems plastic. I don't know. There's only one question I have about the bumper. The question I have, and you can't really see it, but you know, I have these little plastic tabs off of the actual bumper crash bar that came out. Now, I assume somebody clipped the bumper. How? Like, how do I clip it to the bumper? Like, you almost need the bumper in place to clip it. With the bumper in place, I mean, there's no way to reach it. You can't reach in there or anything. I don't know how you would get that. Does this have the exhaust cut out? Does that one have an exhaust cut out? I don't have an exhaust cut out. You can see that exhaust cuts out right there, so maybe there was no exhaust cut out. Well, these little clips, there's one on each side right off the bumper. That I assume, like, holds something in place, but I don't know how you would clip it. Because again, with the bumper, like these clips, it's not like there's any extra length to them. So the bumper's in place. I mean, do I reach like through here? That seems unreasonable. I don't know. Let me look at that exhaust bumper cutout real quick. Now, I was thinking I don't really need to take the bumper off to pull that corner, but might as well be safe than sorry. I don't want to like mess this bumper up somehow. You know, something slips, something like, you know, chains and everything. Best take it off. I only have 2 bolts in it, one on each side, so it won't be hard to take off. Then I just gotta find a safe place to put it because I don't want to mess it up any. So there's not an exhaust cutout, but there is this. This is the exhaust cutout. It looks like it's just a plastic clip. Like this one looks okay, I think. I don't know, is it split? I almost look like it's 2 pieces, but I think it is split. So I don't have that for sure. Let me see if I have like, there's all these tabs on the bottom. I don't know, does my bumper have tabs? I don't know. Like this piece would be great if it were split, because this way I'd already have this half. See, my bumper does have all the tabs underneath there. I'm not going to crawl in there and look at it. But yeah, this corner, back on this, it does make a lot of sense because there were like 2 wrinkles I saw that I wasn't quite sure where they went to. And this makes sense because pulling this out is going to fix, or at least help, those 2 wrinkles. So, I mean, this is good. Now, could you make this work without pulling that out? I guess. But why? Like, why would you not try to fix this? Because, you know, you pull this out, that thing's going to line up perfect. These are going to line up. It'd be more trouble almost to try to make this work than just to fix it right. So I'm going to pull this. I just got to figure out where to hook. I mean, right here, I think I can kind of hook in here. Maybe. Where? Let's see. There's like kind of there's no real good spot in here. I don't know. I mean, you can kind of hook something in here, but I don't want to bend all this. Oh, no, I have to look at that. And just go slow and make sure, because I don't want to mess this up anymore. And I could try to slide hammer it a little bit, but the thing I don't like about slide hammer is that it's not as precise. With the come along, you can kind of pull gently and pull real slow and like just ease that out a little bit to where it's touching. Yeah, maybe I'll leave the bumper on, because you know, once this screw is lined up with this, I know this part's good. And it might be where, you know, I pull this a little bit, pull down here a little bit, because you can see these are a little bit further out, like that one's close, but the big part is right in here. That needs to come out when these things start lining up. Look at that, we are getting a front bumper on. This thing's looking more and more like a car all the time. So I haven't put the grill in. I'm basically just test fitting the bumper, making sure everything fits right. I mean, there's some weirdness going on here. I haven't quite bolted everything in, so that might work out. You can see, got a little bit of dent right there. So I don't know, this thing may be kicked out. I need to screw everything in, but the side that was not hit, oh, that looks really good. Man, a little bit, maybe a little bit of adjustment needs to be there, but it might just be how it's supposed to be. It's just, it's a little proud right here. And a little, I don't know. That's something I need to look into. Overall, it's looking good. I did notice that it looks like I'm missing a piece here. I'm guessing I'm supposed to take that off the other bumper. I need to look at the old bumper and see what's going on there. Another reason why you should never throw anything away. I'm guessing there might, because this bracket here has little clips. Let's go to the other side so you can get a better look at that. So you see the little clips in there, and so I'm guessing something screws into something rivets into this that clips into there. You think it all just come together? Of course it doesn't. I do need seal tone in here. That may fit okay. I mean, I need to work on that. And I think maybe just some touch-up paint. You can see a little bit there. Might need some touch-up paint there. I just haven't looked at that. But overall, man, it's so exciting to see this car come together and looking like a car again, to have a front bumper. It obviously needs to be painted. I need to jump into painting the bumpers. I've never painted anything automotive. I've done spray paint, but I did buy some auto body paint guns. I don't want to use that because I always wanted to paint a car, and I'm going to paint my daily driver all by myself. No help from Dad. But I feel like this would be a good practice, these bumpers, because if I screw them up, not a huge deal. They're small. Supplies won't be very expensive. So this will be my test case. And I don't know what just fell over there. I know I need, let's see, I think I probably need adhesive promoter, flexible primer, then the paint, the clear. We're going to go all out on it, see how it goes. Be good practice. Screw up, again, not a big deal. You know, it's small, cheap parts. That is what's going to go on. I will paint on those. But first I want to make sure they fit well, make sure nothing needs to be, you know, trimmed or sanded or anything, you know? Like, you don't want to paint them and then you figure out you have to trim stuff up. So I'm playing this smart. Gonna check it out, but it's looking good. And this is why I'm not throwing these parts away. So you can see, this stuff is rooted in there. This is just a little clip where it clips onto that bracket. And I don't know if these rivets are anything special. Hopefully they're just normal rivets, because I have some normal rivets. I don't know what these are. But I need to check that out and see what's what and what's going on. Let's see, on this side looks fine. This other side should be fine. It is fine. I just need to, I guess, drill out those rivets and root into the other piece of the car. And the work just never stops. There's always something. So looking at things looking pretty good. I mean, I think there's a little bit of adjustability here with this screw. I just kind of have it in loose. There's a little clip here, like right back here, that this will push over more. So I think that would be completely flush once it's done. So this side's looking good. This other side, there's something going on here. This back side looks great. I mean, it's flush right through here. In here is a little stuff going on. You can see this lip is bent in. I wonder if this lip is kicked out. I need to look at the other side. This lip is kind of kicked out right in here. And it makes me, I don't know what's going on. It's kicked out here. It looks like it's kicked out here. It looks like it's kicked in there. The fender itself looks straight, but this looks really proud. Like this piece is clipped into the clip right up here. So it seems like this should be in that way, which could very well be possible. Maybe that needs to go in and the whole thing needs to bend that way. I don't know. This is something you need to be gentle with because I don't want to mess anything up. I mean, the fender itself looks great. Just these little pieces here that when you put the headlight in, you won't see. So I don't know. I need to do a little bit of looking into that. My whole thing looks a little low. Like, it looks like it pushes up. It would be in a good spot. And that could be these clips. Like, these clips may bring it up a little bit. But even then, if you bring it up, you still see it's a little proud. Quite a bit proud. So what's going on with that? I don't know. And overall, this bumper looks really good. This was an aftermarket bumper, but I was really pleased with the rear bumper. I'm really pleased with this bumper. It looks good. Everything looks to be pretty good quality. You know, eventually, when it comes time to paint, clean it really well, scuff it, adhesion promoter, probably. I need to look into this. I mean, again, I'm new to auto body paint, but I think adhesion promoter, then a flexible primer, then the paint, then the clear, and it should be good. But I will say, like, I know I had an old Nissan truck, and there's like a rubber channel at the front, right above the windshield, that held the headliner in. And I wanted this interior all black. It was gray. And I scuffed up that piece of rubber. I mean, it was completely flexible. It was like almost like rubber weather stripping. That's kind of the same kind of material, rubbery type thing. Painted that with just paint. Didn't prime it. Just cleaned it, sanded it, because it had like the molded in grain grooves to it to make it look, who knows what to make it look like. Sanded it and painted it. And never painted it. Like, the thing flexed. You're getting it in another truck. It flexed. But the paint never cracked. And this was just like duplicolor spray paint. So, you know, do you really need a adhesion promoter? Do you really need a flexible primer? I don't know, because I painted stuff without any of that stuff, and it did fine. Now, this is automotive, exterior, you know, has to handle the elements and weather and rain and sun, but I don't know, paint can do pretty well. We'll see. think the first thing to check on this is the hood gaps. I need to put the hood down, see what the hood looks like on both sides. Just that'll give me an idea of is there anything going on up top here. Because if the hood gap looks good, then it's all just right here. And it seems kind of wild that, you know, if it's all just in here, I think probably maybe nothing's wrong. Who knows what's going on here. But if this part's good, the hood gaps look good. Now, if all that's out of whack, then that's why all this is out of whack. But, you know, you got to look at the big picture, and that's what I'm going to do. But not right now, because it's late, and I just don't feel like doing this anymore. So I've gotten sidetracked. I was looking for my coolant leak, and, you know, I decided, hey, maybe I should look to see how the hood fits. Yeah, this fender looks like it's a little bent. Looks like it's been out this way. I mean, the fender's not in bad shape, other than it just flares out. You know, the hood is a little high. So there's some stuff going on here, which makes sense because it seemed like it's out here. It seems like this whole piece is just out a little bit. Don't quite know what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to try to fix it. This gap is pretty tight. Hood is a little proud. I'm wondering if just the impact on that corner over there just kind of pushed it ever so slightly to tighten this gap up, because it's just a little tight. And so, you know, I don't know, like, does the latch need to adjust a little bit? I don't know. There's plenty going on under here. So my coolant leak is, I don't know, somewhere around the back. There's this contraption here, and it's kind of like right under there, right below the exhaust pipe. We need to do some research, see what it is, because you really can't see in there. You know, I need to be like all the way back in here to see over that way, but I can feel it. I felt where the leak is, and it's right down here. I don't quite know what it is, because, you know, everything's kind of coming into there. There's something going on, but I can't see it. I might see when I get out of the car and see it, but that is my coolant leak. At least I've isolated it. I knew it was in this area. Now I know exactly what it's dripping off of. And I'm still just wondering if something, I don't know, I mean, it might not even be related to the accident. It might just be old age. Everything under here is plastic. Over time, plastic gets brittle. It cracks. Could be that. I don't know. When I started today, my goal was to work on the rear because I need to pull on the trunk area just a little bit to get that straight. And then I got to looking at the hood, shutting the hood, seeing how that stuff was fitting, trying to track my coolant leak. And I'm all sidetracked. But I'm going to go to the trunk because I know what to work on. The front, that fender, can I get that back in spec? Don't know. Don't want to buy a fender? Not really. And if I get a fender, definitely like a silver one just so everything kind of matches up. But, you know, I think the first drinker I went to had a silver fender. If only I had known. Again, this is my first time doing something like this. Live and learn. Really needed to go a little bit. I looked at the fender with the hood up and was like, oh, fender's fine. Yeah, I don't see anything egregious about it. Man, why didn't I shut the hood and check? I would have known it very easily then. I just, you know, that's the way it goes. Part of the problem is this. I've never really shut the hood, so the hood is just kind of ajar. So I just look at that gap and think, oh, the hood's ajar. It'll be okay. And I never really looked one side to the other. You can see this gap's a lot tighter. Just completely missed it, man. My bust. Going real slow here. This is my setup, block of wood, just to distribute that force. Because if you put this hook just right in the back of that, you're going to get a little mark in your metal. And I'm going to pull out this whole corner, not just one little tiny spot. So I'm going slow. I have my reference point. The bumper is the reference point. I've pulled this out a little bit and keep pulling it. I'm probably going to alternate from like kind of right in here to maybe down here. Just going slow, looking at it. I've already pulled out a little bit. It's looking better. I may move up to here, kind of like pull this thing out. It's hard to get a good spot in here, but just going slow. The smaller the area, the less you do. Can you see? I mean, right there, look at that. The bolt hole is perfect. This bolt hole over here, that is a little off. And this one's perfect. So that kind of gives you my reference. And I may work my way slowly, kind of pull this out, pull it out to here. You know, I don't want to work, like, get this one perfect, then this one perfect. I want to work it all at the same time. So I'm going to pull this out, get this close, get this one a little bit closer, just see how things are going. See what we got. See? You can see that one farther out. My area, it's right in here. This is where it's hit. This is where I'm going to work, right in there. We are getting closer. Look, I think this one was lined up before. Look at how close this one is. This one, getting closer. Look at that. I mean, we're like 1/4 inch away. We were over an inch away, so we are getting much better. The problem, the tricky part is it's hollow in here. So if I'm putting a block here, as I've been doing, putting a block here, hammering it, well, it makes this want to kind of crease up. So I got to be very careful. It's a little indentation, a little bit lower, so I'm going a little bit lower to hit it. So I don't crease that because it does want to bow a little bit because it's hollow, and that's the way it goes. But when we're working down this side, this is a good spot to hit because there's nothing hollow. You can straighten this right out. I did have a little wrinkle in here. I think that wrinkle is just about out, best I can tell, looking around the bumper, which is good. But everything is lining up. We're close. I mean, these still line up, which is good. Or actually, did they line up before? I don't know. They look really good now. So probably still a little bit more work. So I'd love for these things to line up perfect. At the same time, I don't want to crease any of this stuff. But it's been getting there little by little. I take a few hits with a hammer, look at it, check it again, so it's looking good. And this bracket, I bent this bracket, what, down or up or something? I bent it somehow to make it look straight, not realizing this was all a little tweaked. So yeah, it's something I'll have to mess with later.